of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Kansas City.
The Royals have won 6 of their last 8 games, and they just completed a winning series at home, shutting out the Oakland A's twice in 3 games. Now the last-place Twins come to Kauffman Stadium, but Minnesota hasn't looked like a last-place team lately, winning 5 of its last 6. Game 1 is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals are coming off a winning series, and now they begin a brand new series with the Minnesota Twins. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. And the Royals on Saturday played a very sloppy game, but came back yesterday. They won the series with good pitching and excellent defense.
They sure did, and those two go hand in hand along with timely hits. But it was Vin Mazzaro. Go ahead. He looked like he wanted to earn himself another start by the way he pitched. Good slider, good action. I'll tell you, the offense was good. Gordon put on a highlight clinic. Never seen a play like that from a left fielder. Big momentum changer. Those kind of plays help you win games. And, of course, you got to have Hosmer going deep, dead center. Yes, the flap is back.
And Will Smith is back, although this will be his first start at home tonight, and we'll break down what he needs to do when we come back. Smith to the mound tonight, and in his last start, he beat the Cleveland Indians. That was his first big league win. So, Rex, what does he need to do tonight against Minnesota?
Well, our Kia pitching report, he's got to pound down in the strike zone. Ground balls, use that great defense out there. Hope that they're air-free this time. Put him away with a curve. I like his curveball. He's using that as an out pitch and earn that spot. Go ahead and show them that you're worthy to take that 4th or 5th spot.
And the Royals will try and show the league that they're worthy to be a good home team. After beating the A's 2 out of 3, it's a 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins. And we'll be right back. and by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. It's the Royals and the Minnesota Twins, and the first pitch is next. Year for them. Normally their left fielder, he's the designated hitter tonight. Joe Mauer is not in the lineup. We'll get to that a little bit later. And a player that we didn't see the last time we faced the Minnesota Twins, their new shortstop, Brian Dozier. And they will be facing Will Smith for the first time. And Rex, he got into a lot of trouble in the first inning. A couple of walks, a couple of hits, gave up 2 runs, and then none over the next 5 innings.
Well, it'd be nice if he could just, for confidence sake, go ahead and get through the first 3, maybe 4 guys. You know, that's going to be big for him. He's got the pitches to do it. He's got a good fastball, 2 and 4 seamer. The 2-seamer, it stays down. He uses that for ground balls. He'll occasionally try to come upstairs. Good slider, big curveball. I like the curveball. He's been getting some swing and misses on that pitch and occasional changeups to righties.
And the defense behind him, presented by Ford.
Okay, this defense now, although they've had a few games where they've made some errors, overall they're really good, especially the first baseman. Wow. I don't know if he's going to win a Gold Glove first or a home run title. I would probably bet on the first one. He has got those kind of skills. He's tall. He's an easy target to throw to. And out of the Royals' 23 wins, be interesting to see how many he's won with his glove. He's got tremendous skills. Great to watch that kid play.
And at the plate, he'll be carrying a 6-game hitting streak into tonight. So here's Denard Span, batting at .297. Greeting Humberto Quintero and home plate umpire Tom Hallion before he steps in. And Will Smith throws a strike. Last year here at Kauffman Stadium on June the 9th, Denard Span looked like he had a pretty harmless collision with Brian Pena, but he ended up with a concussion, and coming back from that, some vertigo, which caused dizziness, and it wiped out a big chunk of his season.
Tell you, vertigo, that goes in the line with that concussion syndrome. Anything that's dealing with the brain and dizziness is very dangerous for a player.
It's hard enough to hit a little white baseball at 95 miles an hour when you're not dizzy.
I'll say. Like to get him. He's an action guy. He can steal some bases.
Toward right center field, and Francoeur out into the sunlight. One away. "90 degrees, and that was the high temperature in Kansas City today. We started at 7:11 Central Daylight Time, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot at KCI. And here's another Twins hitter with a lot of speed, Ben Revere. And on draft day, we bring up that Ben Revere was the Minnesota Twins first round pick in 2007.
Pretty good timetable, 5 years to get here.
Coming out of high school.
Yeah, it's even more special.
If you haven't heard, the Royals took a pitcher out of the University of San Francisco, Kyle Zimmer, with their first pick. 2 balls and 1 strike on Revere.
Hardest thing for a guy like this to get in his first year in the big leagues is just to kind of see what the pitching's like. Gauge yourself. You know, pick some balls out, try to find a strike zone for yourself.
Hosmer, nice job handling the 1 hop, but with Revere's speed, he beats it out.
Yeah, anything back up the middle like that with his kind of speed is going to be a tester. Gio Vitello did a nice job.
So 1 on 1 out. Josh Willingham comes to the plate, not Joe Mauer. And with more on that, here's Joe Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, we're used to seeing Mauer, Morneau, and of course it's been Morneau that's been hurt more on the DL, but he is in the lineup and playing very well. Joe Mauer's only missed 1 game. This will be his 2nd of the year. Sprained his thumb yesterday swinging on a foul ball. Not believed to be serious day to day, but in his career, .351 batting average in 50 games here at Kauffman Stadium, so maybe a break for the Royals. And while Mauer hasn't quite been the same hitter as he has been in the past with the power, he still leads the team with a .298 batting average. Ryan?
All right, thanks, Joel. Only .351. Gosh, it seems like .451 every time Joe Mauer comes to the plate here. And Josh Willingham into the left field corner, and that's a 2-run home run. And now that's 7 runs allowed by Will Smith in the first inning.
He's a strong guy. Hits his 11th home run, and that was a no-doubter. Got him a ball he could handle right down the middle.
So he fills in for Joe Mauer and then some with a 2-run home run, his 11th of the year, and he has 38 RBIs. Smith back with a strike against Justin Morneau. And that gets away from Quintero, but still in the strike zone. 0-2. Morneau spent a little bit of time on the disabled list this year. He had an injured right wrist in early May. 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, and no concussion or post-concussion symptoms. That ground ball gets under Escobar's glove, and Morneau will be safe with 1 out.
Well, they're going to score a hit, but Escobar will tell you that he just didn't quite get his glove, his arm all the way extended and catch that ball out in front. Got under him. He'll tell you, watch it. He kind of pulled up a little bit too soon. Looked to me like that should be scored an error. As good a shortstop as he is, that's a routine play for him.
And they will say it is an error. The Royals had an outstanding game yesterday on defense against the Oakland A's, and that was on the heels of a very poor defensive game on Saturday. Ryan Domit, he'll do the catching, so he's also filling in for Joe Mauer. First year with the Twins. He's a switch hitter. He can also play the outfield. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Domit's a power hitter. He's got some pop to center field to left field.
There's a good breaking ball for a strike. And you mentioned the breaking ball. Remember in Cleveland, after struggling in the first couple of innings, Dave Island went to the mound, and one of the adjustments for him seemed to be more sliders and more curveballs.
Yeah, because, you know, his fastball at times can be straight and right over the plate, just like Josh Willingham saw. So you got to mix him up.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Overall, Minnesota hitting just .232 against southpaws this year, so that's not a real high mark. Their overall record 5-8 versus left-handed starters. But Will's just going to have to get through this first inning here. The air didn't help him. Maybe he can roll a ground ball double play.
Instead of fly ball to right. So Francoeur has handled the 2 outs. Morneau goes back to first base. Will Smith, after that shaky first inning against Cleveland and then the 5 scoreless after that, his comments after the game, basically he got angry with himself and became more aggressive after that, pounding the strike zone, which is interesting because normally you don't want a young guy to get too amped up. That sometimes becoming angry and fired up can work against you.
Those are some of the things that young players, especially pitchers, have to deal with most, their emotions.
It seems most of the time you're trying to get these young guys to calm down, cool off, catch their breath, not get angry.
Exactly. It's not an easy thing, but Will Smith, from the body language I'm seeing, he looks pretty calm.
Made a good pitch in on the hands, and Plouffe will pop out to Eric Hosmer. Minnesota gets a home run from Josh Willingham for an early 2-0 lead. With Alex Gordon leading off in his 7-game hitting streak, Johnny Giavotella will bat second and play second base. Gerard Dyson, who's been batting 9th, is going to hit 8th tonight with Humberto Quintero batting 9th as the Royals will face for the first time 27-year-old rookie Cole DeVries.
Okay, now he's not a guy that's going to overpower you. Okay, he's not very strong with his fastball. He might top 90 at best. He's better in his upper 80s. Kind of a nibbler, you know, pitches around the strike zone. He's got a big curveball changeup. You know, they can get him early. He's young. He's not real confident. And he's a Golden Gopher.
There's not enough room for that third line there, but the actual title is the world-renowned academic and athletic institution, the University of Minnesota.
I wouldn't go that far.
We're limited by space.
Well, the Royals would like to limit DeVries' time out there on the mound. That's what they'd like to do.
Alex has hit in 7 in a row, and that goes back to Ned Yost putting him back in the leadoff spot. 4 hits, 3 doubles, and a couple of walks in the 3-game series with Oakland.
That fastball looks straight as a string. Boy. Gordon saying, throw me that one again.
Off speed and pulled to Morneau. One away. Minnesota defensively presented by Ford.
All right, this team's aired 32 times this year. That's exact middle of the pack. But their third baseman, he has been a beauty. Jamie Carroll. He started out the season as their shortstop. This guy's been all over. Expos, Washington, Colorado, Dodgers. But now they have him shifted over to the third base. And he's a valuable commodity to their team. Now, he doesn't hit much, but man, does he have a good glove. He's only aired 3 times, playing shortstop now at third base. He's a solid defender.
And now DeVries in with a strike to Johnny Giavotella. He was 1 for 3 in the Oakland series with an RBI. Batting second, where he spent most of his minor league career. Didn't mean to go around. And he's down 0-2. And Johnny going with batting gloves tonight. And most of his minor league career he did not hit with batting gloves. He will use them during batting practice, but says normally he has a better feel for the bat with his bare hands. But against DeVries, going with the gloves.
Yeah, it just depends. You know, some guys, I'm going to go with them. Maybe I won't. You know, it's all about the feel, like you mentioned. Gio keeps hitting, and he's looking pretty good on defense, too. He's making some tough plays out there. Big slow curve this guy's got.
And Giavotella goes down and gets it, and Denard Span makes a tumbling play in center field.
Gio's saying, you didn't catch that. What a play. I mean, for Gio to be able to make contact with that curveball that ended up was going to bounce on the ground, that was a pretty good piece of hitting. That's how tough the league is. Look at that athletic play and a nice roll. Well, that outfield, they're pretty good. They got some good speed. Ben Revere, look at Johnny. Watch him say it. It's a tough league, buddy.
And that's one of the first things that you hear guys talk about. Now, obviously, when you get to the big leagues, they're facing better pitching than they've ever seen. But it's the defense that catches hitters off guard. There aren't as many holes or as many gaps in the big leagues as there are in the minor leagues.
No, that's amazing when you hit the balls that you think are off the bat or in, and you make your turn and you look up, and Giavotella was in shock. He said, I thought that was going to fall. These guys play center field, and most corners all have really good speed. They close it quick.
Off the end of the bat and foul. DeVries getting Billy to chase one out of the strike zone. Ben Revere, who's playing in right field, this is what he did on Saturday in Cleveland. Now, we had a game last year, Rex, where Ben Revere did that against the Royals, but it was while he was running the bases. He was trying to leg out a triple, and he lost his balance in between second and third base, and he went into a full somersault, got on his feet again, and completed the triple.
I think I saw that.
Billy just got a piece of it, and it's still 1-2.
No, they're athletic, that's for sure.
Billy 4 hits, also reached with a walk in the Oakland series, but did not drive in a run. Royals scored 7 runs in the 3-game series, but won 2. A couple of 2-0 shutouts. That is just foul. So here you go. A former first-round pick, Billy Butler, facing a guy who wasn't even drafted. Signed as a undrafted free agent in 2006. And not only did he go to the University of Minnesota, but he grew up in Minnesota, so playing for the hometown team. It is an inexact science, the June amateur draft.
Boy, you got that right. But I'm going to tell you what, I think the Royals will be really thrilled with their pick. Good job. I looked at the kid on video and saw him, Kyle Zimmer. He looks like a horse. Big kid, throws strikes, impressed with his numbers.
Domit wants this pitch down. It's down and away, 2-2 on Billy. Got him with a slider that actually stayed up. So DeVries knocks down the Royals 1-2-3 in the first.
That's right. That's how you think about it. Stay positive, execute, and try to stay out of the middle on guys that can hurt you.
Brian Dozier, new to the Twins since the Royals last faced Minnesota. He was their minor league player of the year last year. Royals and Twins played at Target Field in late April. Off the end of the bat and just over Moustakas' glove. Dozier is around first, and Alex Gordon with an off-balance throw. It's right on target, but Dozier beats the throw with a double.
Moose just couldn't quite glove it. Just about a foot over his head. Gordon comes in and makes another off-balance throw just like he did yesterday in that game. Boy, he's some kind of athlete. Yep. Good hops by Moose, but just quite couldn't get it. Now let's see if KCA tries to move him over. That's what he's thinking. Push that ball to the right side.
Six double for Dozier, who was hitting .245, but now he's hit in 5 straight games. And KCA again shortening the bunt, and he bunts it back into the seats. Lexi KCA is a .237 hitter. Minnesota Twins are 10th in the league in team batting average at .246. They have hit the fewest home runs in the American League. And they have given up the most home runs. But in the first inning against Will Smith, Josh Willingham hit his 11th of the year, and giving the Twins a 2-0 lead. Still 1-2.
Ron Gardenhire, you know, all of his teams that he's had in his managing days have always revolved around pitching, good defense, and team speed. So they're missing a little bit of power, and they're not really good on the mound this year. But he expects guys like KCA, Jamie Carroll hitting ninth, to do the little things. It's a good try there. He's doing all he can, KCA, to try to hit Will Smith to the right side to move the runner. And you score good points with your manager when you show him the effort to do it. It's not always easy, especially with 2 strikes. Just like it's not easy to look into the sun when you're watching a ball game.
Again, taking a shot to the right side. It's still 1-2. When they played in the Metrodome, they really used that artificial surface to their advantage with speed, and they were so fundamentally sound on offense and defense. But when they got to Target Field, it had become a power hitting team, and that's not a power hitting team ballpark. So they've tried to go back to some of the fundamentals and some of the speed on the bases as KCA hits a soft liner to Escobar, and Dozier stays put at second base. The Fan of the Game sweepstakes is going on now at Fiat of Olathe, and you could win a new Fiat 500 Pop. Finalists for the grand prize drawing will be announced on Fox Sports Kansas City, and in July, one fan will win the Fiat 500 Pop. Look for rules and enter now at Fiat of Olathe. So a good comeback for Smith after the leadoff double, and now Jamie Carroll.
Hey, here's a guy you want to take your chances with. Throw him strikes. Pound him down the strike zone. He's not going to take you deep. He's going to try to slash and find a hole. Good veteran player. Knows how to play the game in his 10th season.
Giavotella had to block that low throw. That was a throw that, if you go through it again, Will Smith probably shouldn't have made.
Yeah, you can just step off. You don't have to throw it just because the pickoff play is on. Usually that's engaged and put on by a fielder. That doesn't come from the dugout.
And now Dozier takes off for third. Quintero's throw in on a hop, and Moustakas started the tag maybe a little soon, and Dozier steals third. That's his first major league stolen base.
Well, he looked like he was wanting to steal over there. That's why Will Smith attempted to pick him off, and he would have been out had Moose gloved it. Just kind of short hop Moose. It wasn't an easy pick, but had he had that ball land in his glove and his fingers there, he would have had him out.
Infield in now for the Royals, and there's a base hit to center, and the Twins have a 3-0 lead in the second inning.
Nice piece of hitting there. With the infield drawn in, they did Jamie Carroll a favor. Little slap hitter, says, all right, I know what to do here. I'm going to choke up on that bat and just try to put it in play. Smart player. Moose tags him out. There's 2 outs, and that's just a lousy single. Never know in the game.
Jamie Carroll has stolen 4 bases, but he's been thrown out 3 times. Denard Span opened the game with a line out to right field. One and 0. And now Span realized he had a broken bat in his hands.
Yeah, he's not going to get much action out of that. How strange was that? Look at him. Look, he hits home plate. It breaks. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, well, it's a good thing he tapped the plate. Look at, surprise. They just don't make wood like they used to.
Guess not.
I've never seen that before. He didn't even hit it hard. He just tapped the plate.
And it didn't sound like he cracked his bat in his first at bat. He had a line drive out to Francoeur.
See something new every game, every day.
Down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Denard Span having a nice bounce back year. And for a time last season, he had been moved from his normal leadoff spot. His on base percentage was down. Had a strong finish to the year. And now his on base percentage is at about 360. 2 balls and 1 strike. And he's a name that has come up quite a bit in trade rumors as Minnesota is trying to put the pieces back together. They have a couple of very big contracts with Justin Morneau and Joe Mauer. And Denard Span, who signed a long-term contract with the Twins a couple of years ago, could be appealing to another team.
Yeah, that'll start heating up that talk next month. And when you're a player that's name's being mentioned, you like that. It's not like you're saying, oh no, I hope they don't trade me. You're saying, hey, it's nice that somebody wants me. They're talking about me. So you keep playing. Sometimes it adds a little bit of incentive to play better.
Two and two.
Jamie Carroll, he looked like he's wanting to run over there at first base as well.
Twins have won 5 of their last 6 games. They swept the Oakland A's right before the Royals took 2 out of 3 from Oakland, and they just went to Cleveland and took 2 out of 3 from the Indians. Snap throw over to first, and that had Carroll flinching, but he's able to get back in time.
Span, he'll be tough to double. He's only grounded into 3 double plays. So Jamie Carroll's still looking like he wants to get a good jump.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of Will Smith, but I will say this, in just his 3rd major league start, this is not his normal pace and tempo. Even when he was getting knocked around by the Yankees in his first start, and then Tuesday at Cleveland, he was getting the ball back from the catcher, and he was either pitching or getting ready for his next pitch, but a lot of time in between pitches, long looks at the signs, and now distracted by Jamie Carroll, who takes off. Span lines it up the right field line, and that's foul by less than a foot.
Carroll had a good jump, but you're right. Tempo of the game is extremely important for the pitcher and catcher, but for the infielders as well, outfielders, keep the game moving. And the body language that it tells your opponents that you're a little bit unsure of yourself. Boy, that just was foul by a few inches.
And now Span strikes out. Two down in the second.
Okay, now all that time waiting, Span thought he was going to throw him a curveball. He was guessing.
Well, the dugout obviously is seeing what we're seeing, and they're closer than we are, and so that's slow tempo, and the 3 runs allowed in the first 2 innings has the dugout concerned, and they've got Luis Mendoza throwing.
And Willingham on deck. So Will needs to go after Revere if he wants to stay in this game.
Revere reached with an infield single in the first inning and then scored on that Willingham home run. And we showed you last half inning the tumbling play that he made in Cleveland on Saturday. And we were talking about a triple that he had against the Royals last year at Target Field, which included a somersault. There's a liner to center, and it's going to be caught by Gerard Dyson. So Revere is out. The Twins add a run and have an early 3-0 lead. Swafford is an accomplished athlete as an avid runner and tennis player. And at the age of 70, the Prairie Village, Kansas resident learned to ride a bike and swim so that she could compete in her first triathlon. And she plans to participate in her second this July. Sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat at tonight's game. So Royals are down early 3-0. Minnesota getting a 2-run home run from Josh Willingham in the first. And an RBI single from Jamie Carroll in the second. Moustakas, Francoeur, and Hosmer coming up. And Moustakas launches it to deep right field. Revere is to the fence. Gone, and the Royals are on the board.
That'll work. Wake this crowd up here at the K. Nice piece of hitting there. That fastball looks really straight. And there it was, a short, quick swing. Revere, as athletic as he is, ain't catching that one. Moose with his 9th. Good turn, easy does it. Didn't try to do too much and took that fastball right down the middle and hit it where it should be hit. Isn't that what Ned has him batting fourth for?
Mm-hmm. And Ned trying to help Moustakas refresh a bit, giving him most of Sunday off. Moustakas did come in late in the game yesterday. So he's got his 9th home run, second only to Billy Butler, 26 RBIs. Royals had a bad time in the first inning against Cole DeVries, but off to a good start in the second. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jeff Francoeur. Morneau over to the dugout suite. And that is out of play. 1-2. Let's go to Joe Goldberg.
Ryan, thank you very much. We've seen the contingent of Will Smith fans on the road, his family in New York, and then in Cleveland, 17 friends. Well, 2 coming in here from Georgia today. Casey Wilson and his father, Steve Wilson. Steve was an assistant coach on their high school baseball team, and Casey was a teammate. So what is this like, flying into Kansas City this morning and seeing your high school buddy pitch in a major league game?
Well, first of all, he's not only my high school buddy, he's my best friend. And I honestly, I just turned to him last inning, and he gave up 2 runs, but who cares? He's in the big leagues, man. It's just unreal, and he's still the same Will that we've always known and loved, and he's a part of the family, not only my best friend.
Well, you were telling me just before we came on camera, too, that you have really spent a lot of time even beyond baseball, and you guys were a year apart, or are a year apart, but that you guys have always connected during the offseason when you were playing college ball.
Yeah, me and Will, we started training together 3 years ago, and in his off season and my Christmas break before I went back to school, we'd work out every day and go play catch and throw bullpens to each other. I caught him in the off season, and his stuff is electric. It's unreal, and just to see him here on this stage, it's like I said, it's breathtaking, and I just feel blessed to be here.
Steve, how about for you, having been around to coach and see Will? What kind of kid was he in high school?
He's a great kid in high school, and he's a great kid now. Real hard-nosed competitor. It's the guy we always wanted on the mound. Excellent ball player. Excellent person, though.
Well, we saw how nervous his parents were. You said you were watching it on TV, Casey, and saw his parents, family to you too. But what was Will like as a pitcher in high school? You said electric stuff still, but what was it like to be on the field watching him pitch a high school game in Georgia?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't play behind him. I was his bullpen guy. Every game he started, I came in relief if he needed me. And pitching behind that guy, he had the hitters so off balance to where I came in. I didn't throw as hard as he did, and he was just. It was easy almost to pitch behind him because he had guys so off balance. And it's just unreal, like I said, and he was great. Very hardest working guy I've ever met, and he deserves every bit of what he's got right now.
Well, Casey and Steve, it's great to have you in town. They flew in, Ryan, this morning, and nervous and excited for Will, and fitting in just fine, by the way, here in Kansas City, because as soon as Moustakas hit that home run, Casey had the good Moose chant going with the rest of the crowd.
Doesn't take long to catch on to that here at Kauffman Stadium. Thanks, Joel. Ball 1 to Alcides Escobar. 2 out of 10 in the Oakland series with a stolen base. Batting with 2 outs, nobody on. Royals on the board in this inning after the Mike Moustakas home run. 1-1. It's funny, you get to the big leagues, and I hear this all the time, that you play in front of a big crowd, but you're still very aware of your friends and your family that are there, and you want to perform as much for them as the other 20 or 30,000 people that are there.
Yep, it's the show. Everybody in the world can watch.
Revere makes the play, so DeVries gets the next 3 after the Moustakas home run. His 9th of the year. It's 3-1 Minnesota to the 3rd.
We got liftoff.
top of the third inning, and we're going to visit with Lonnie Goldberg, the Royals Director of Scouting. The Royals have announced their first-round draft pick of 2012, and it's right-hand pitcher Kyle Zimmer. And before we get to the dynamics of the draft so far, tell us about Zimmer.
Well, we're getting a big power arm, 2+ pitches with pitchability, excellent arm action and delivery. Young arm, a converted guy, only 20 years old, be 21 in September. We had him rated as the #1 pitcher on our board, so we were real excited that he was there with our pick at 5.
Now, the baseball draft, I don't know how it compares to others as far as how well the experts can predict what's going to happen, but there were some surprises, were there not?
Yeah, I think there were, but I think it's all perception. I think every draft room trusts their scouts to go out and do their evaluations, and I think a lot of the media publications put who they think is going to go into place. But our board, it went like we liked it, and again, we were real excited to have Kyle be there for us, and we're real excited to get him in uni.
104 punch-outs? 17 walks?
It's pretty good.
Whoa, man.
Pretty good.
That's unheard of.
We could use that, right?
Now, yeah, there's a couple terms you use, though, that we can educate our people, and I know what they are, but maybe they don't. Pitchability and conversion. He's converted. What does that mean?
Well, he was a third baseman. Went to school as a third baseman, and he said he had a player in front of him. He wasn't going to get a lot of ABs, and somebody told him throw some bullpens, and he got on the mound, and it just shows the athleticism that he has to, one, get on the mound, and two, be able to throw strikes, and then have 4 pitches or 4 weapons that he can command. You're looking at a fastball from anywhere from 93 to 99, a plus breaking ball, a changeup, and a slider. So out of a big body and a great delivery and arm action, so, and a fresh arm. So we feel like, as you guys know, we love to take high school pitchers, and we feel like this is still a fresh arm for us.
How about his mound presence? I like to talk about body language a lot in this game. Is he a fierce competitor? Does
Bulldog.
he breathe fire?
Yeah, bulldog.
He's a bulldog.
Off the field, very probably joking, much like you. Likes to have a good time, but on the field, same as you. Get after it and play. It's a different man between the lines.
Sweet. Love to hear that, because that's important.
It's huge. It's to us, we got the whole package.
When can we expect to see him here at the K?
As far as in uni,
That's
or
right.
just to be here?
No. Helping the team win a championship.
Well, I'll let Ned and Dayton and Scott and the player development staff figure that out. The good thing with him, and he acknowledged it during his interview, is he's not going to set limitations on himself, and he's going to come in. He's looking forward to our working with our staff and our coaches, and whatever it takes, whatever his timeline is, his ability will get him here, and his makeup will sure as heck keep him here. It's a good sight right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Sure is, man. Look at the crowd behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big day for that family.
Yeah, he said he had a bunch of his teammates there from college, so I'm glad he was able to enjoy that with them.
How do you think the rule changes from the last agreement will affect how quickly you can sign him?
I think it's going to be good, and I think it's up to the player as well. Now, he did have a little bit of a tweak of a hamstring towards the end of the season that I know he's trying to work through, so we'll try to get him in as soon as we can.
Can you stick around for another half minute?
Absolutely.
Chatting with Lonnie Goldberg, and on the topic of pitching, Will Smith has his first scoreless inning tonight. And a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one on this hot night, to look forward to Miller Time, presented by Miller Lite. And we're talking draft. Lonnie Goldberg, Royals Director of Scouting. Kyle Zimmer, a right-hand pitcher out of San Francisco, is the first-round draft pick. And Rex and I were talking earlier in the game. You know, there are the guys that you figure are going to get to the big leagues, and then there are some where you have no idea. And the Royals are facing a guy tonight from the University of Minnesota, undrafted. He slipped through the draft. Cole DeVries, an undrafted free agent. He gets to the big leagues as Dyson is out on one pitch, one down in the bottom of the third. Now we only have 40 rounds in the draft because of the rules changes, so that's probably not going to be as odd in the future, is it?
No, I think you're going to see a lot of guys signing immediately after the draft that were not selected. You're looking at 300 players that in last year's draft would have been selected. I think there'll be a lot of kids that go to tryout camps immediately. I think roster's still got to be filled. I mean, even though the signing deadline has moved up a month, some college players are still playing, but teams need to be filled. And I think you're right. I think opportunities like this person right here and our guy Tim Collins will open up.
Right. Now, does that make it more difficult to find players then? Who's in charge of going out and finding these guys then?
All of our staff. I mean, everybody's got a staff full of people across the country. We've got 18 area supervisors, and we've got 7 cross-checkers, and we've got 4 regional cross-checkers that are in charge of their supervisors, so that's their job.
What's a cross-checker do?
Regional cross-checker usually takes about 4 or 5 area scouts, and he's in charge of them. He basically pulls their list together and forms what we try to merge lists together. We got a Southeast, Northeast, Midwest, and West Coast. They come in and kind of merge their boards together, and we try to push the right guys up the board to get the right players.
KCA is going to throw out Quintero, so 2 down in the third inning. Here are the top 5 picks. Here are the Minnesota Twins here tonight. They have the 2nd overall pick, and then Kyle Zimmer going to the Royals. I don't want to put you in a position to critique the first 4 teams of the draft, but were any of these picks surprises based on what the industry thought the Astros, Twins, Mariners, and Orioles were going to do?
No, not really. I think the Pels name was mentioned a lot, but that's a heck of a group right there. And again, with Zimmer falling to us, we were real excited. But again, it's a very talented group. It was a good draft.
Now I got to ask you, have you thought about who you're going to take in the 27th round this year?
No, but I was told that I had to basically talk to you about that and put the pressure on you.
Well, it's a little known secret around here, but Lonnie and I, Rex, when we address one another, we say, "How you doing, 2-7?" Because we were both taken in the 27th round of the 1993 draft, and here we are both wearing ties tonight.
Yeah, we weren't real good.
That's right. Lonnie, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Lonnie. Way to get a keeper, man.
Thank you.
Lonnie Goldberg about the Royals' first-round pick. 5th overall, Kyle Zimmer out of San Francisco. And in our Sprint You Call It question for tonight, the best 5th overall pick since 2000. And some big names. An MVP, Ryan Braun, a rookie that won a World Series, Buster Posey, Mark Teixeira, who can hit and is an outstanding defensive first baseman, and Matt Wieters, who's been compared to Twins catcher Joe Mauer. Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, then A, B, C, or D. And last year, with the 5th overall pick, the Royals took Bubba Starling.
We'll be seeing him. You know, most top 10 picks, they end up getting to be in the big leagues for sure. You know, they may not stay a full 10 years or whatever, but most of those guys, they make it. Not too many teams take a chance on a guy in the first pick that, you know, is not going to pan out for him.
Leadoff walk to Trevor Plouffe, and we'll take a look at our Time Warner pitch speed comparison. Cole DeVries and Will Smith. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Strike to Brian Dozier, who opened the second inning with a double just over Mike Moustakas' glove and stole third, came home on Jamie Carroll's base hit. Twins had a 3-0 lead until Moustakas led off the bottom of the second with a home run. Quintero down to first.
Tell you what, Lonnie Goldberg, the director of scouting here that was just on, does a great job with all of his area scouts he talked about. So they're going to take the rest of the night off, but tomorrow they'll have the 6th pick tomorrow, so it's back on again. And then after that, it's like every 10 minutes, he said, they have to make a pick.
And now the Royals get Plouffe. So he's caught stealing for the first time this year, one down in the 4th.
Okay, lots of times runners will take off on first movement against lefties. They just think that they got a better chance to guess because their moves are so good.
And now Dozier is out.
And it's hard to tell if the lefty's coming over or if he's going home. So the minute he lifts up his leg, they just try to take a guess. Didn't work.
And it appears that Smith has the ability to make a decision in the middle of his motion. Just kind of hang that front leg in the air. And,
right.
And if the runner takes off on first movement, he can adjust and go to first without committing a balk. KCA bunts it foul 0-1.
Quintero, before they even offered it that pitch, he was looking over there at Giovatella and he was motioning bunt, push bunt. So he kind of had that feel that was coming. Guys that bunt off of left-handers usually try to push it to the right side because most lefties fall off to the third base side.
Escobar can't quite get to it, and KCA has a 2-out single. So he's at first, and he's a threat to run as Jamie Carroll bats for the second time. Carroll singled to center, driving in Dozier in the second inning. And we mentioned him playing at third base. We saw him at shortstop when the Royals were in Minnesota at the end of April. And a young player that the Twins were counting on for many years to come at third base, Danny Valencia, is now in AAA.
Have to find that stroke. Strong guy. Too many holes in his swing right now. Okay, Jamie Carroll, we talked about it. He's going to be a singles hitter. Frenchie, he's way in. He's shallow in here over here in right field. He doesn't want Jamie Carroll to doink something in front of him. Challenging him to hit it over his head.
And now the Royals burned by everybody playing in. Dyson almost made a diving play in left center. Jamie Carroll's going to end up with an RBI triple. So Francoeur was most shallow and right, but all three outfielders were playing in against Carroll.
They were. I was just going to go around that outfield and talk about that. But you know what? He still was trying to make contact, but he just got him a pitch up. Right down the middle. He just used his hands. Short, quick swing. Gerard got a good jump just off the end of his glove. So Jamie Carroll, he's the ribby man tonight.
It's only his 7th extra base hit. So he's driven in half the runs for Minnesota. Josh Willingham the other 2 with a home run in the first. Bernard Span has lined out and struck out. Shallow left. Alex Gordon is there. Minnesota Twins get a 2-out run. They have scored in 3 of their 4 innings tonight against Will Smith. By Panera Bread, 23 KC Metro locations and now open in Brookside. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And for the second time tonight, Cole DeVries has a 3-run lead. Minnesota had a 3-0 lead until Mike Moustakas homered leading off the second. And the Twins just got that run back in the top of the 4th. 1-1 on Johnny Giavotella as we take a look at our league leaders tonight. Brought to you by Toyota. And over the last 10 games, the Royals have the 5th best batting average in the American League at .283. So far tonight, 1 hit against Cole DeVries. And Giavotella goes the other way and drops it in front of Ben Revere, and the Royals have a man on to begin the bottom of the 4th.
I think you talked him into that. Just saying just 1 hit, they need to get some more. And you'd never have thought that coming in. Thought they'd have been able to get DeVries. Right-handers have hit .316 off him with a couple of homers. Looks like his fastball is pretty straight. He's mixing in some slow curves, a few changeups. Looks like he's got a little slider he's using.
Well, it's just 2 at-bats, but here we are, second time through the order, so all 9 hitters have gotten a look at DeVries. And what we've seen so far is a line out to right field from Alex Gordon to end the third, and now a base hit to right from Johnny Giavotella. Billy Butler struck out his first time up against DeVries. That pitch stayed up, and it is 2-0. Billy had a good series against Minnesota when we were there at the end of April. He was 5 for 9. The Royals and Twins ended up splitting what became a 2-game series because of a rainout. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, we talked a lot about Billy's off-season conditioning program and how he's gotten his lower body stronger and he's using his legs better and he's hitting for more power. But he continues to do the same program that he did in the offseason. Being a designated hitter, you know, he doesn't have to go out there and play 9 innings on the field. So he's able to mix in the same kind of workouts. I always see him going through their workout room. I look over there and he's doing his stuff. Staying strong.
Pulls it into the corner. And that ball almost straightened out on him and just a little bit foul. And for years, that left field corner here at Kauffman Stadium, and this goes back to the beginning of the stadium, has been kind of a Bermuda Triangle where, for whatever reason, and a lot of it has to do with the swirling wind, that balls that appear to be hooking into the corner at the very end will straighten out. And we've seen so many times hitters stunned at home plate when a foul ball turns into a home run. Billy hits it hard and past Dozier and into left field. 2 on and nobody out.
He waited on that one. Talk about the legs and the hips. The hip turns out just a little bit right before the swing comes. Hitters get their power from their hips. Their hands are strong. Every ball player's hands are strong. You get a little bit of pop there as well, but mainly it's the lower half that it helps power hitters get that generation, that little pop going, a little something to go with the hands.
Mike Moustakas homered to right in the second inning on a 2-0 pitch. DeVries just had a chat with Ryan Domet, the catcher, to go over how they want to handle Moustakas, and the first pitch is in the dirt. Boy, Ron Gardenhire has had all kinds of trouble this year with his starting rotation, and the Minnesota Twins thought they had at least a solid rotation going into the regular season. They have placed another pitcher on the disabled list today, Carl Pavano. Moustakas drives it to left center field, and on the run is Plouffe, but it's off the track and up against the wall. Giavotella scores, Butler to third, and it's an RBI double for Moustakas. He has driven in both runs for the Royals tonight.
Okay, they play Moose to pull, and every once in a while he'll go that way. That's a good swing, short to the ball. He went to the opposite field, right where it was pitched. No chance to get that good carry on the ball. With nobody out, Royals got something going. Get back in this game.
Ted Yost ran out, and he went to talk with second base umpire Alfonso Marquez. And on a fly ball to left field, deep left field, the third base umpire has to go out to judge that. So Alfonso Marquez, his responsibility then becomes third base. And Ned wasn't out there for very long, but if there was an argument, I guess maybe obstruction on the third baseman, Jamie Carroll.
Hey, well, Billy Butler, when he hit second base, I looked at him, he pointed back to the base. He pointed back. I don't know what that meant.
So now the tying runs are in scoring position. Butler at third, Moustakas at second. And Jeff Francoeur, who struck out his first time. And he takes down and away ball one. So again, second time through the order so far. A line out to right. That was at the end of the third. A single to right, a single to left, and a double to left center field.
He's starting to get on him. Frenchie, he popped some balls up early in the count before he struck out, just missing them.
Out in front of a slider, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Royals hitting .257 tonight with runners in scoring in position overall in the season. Frenchie's been picking it up a little bit. He's hitting .200 now. He's been under .200.
A broken bat, and it gets through Dozier, and a run will score. Looked like he couldn't decide whether he wanted to stay back or come up and play it on the fly. And Dozier, who committed 2 errors yesterday in Cleveland, helps the Royals out, and now it's a 4-3 game.
Well, that's a big play, and to capitalize on that mistake. I just call that having the yips. That's all that is. He just wasn't sure what to do, and like you mentioned, whenever you come off of a bad game defensively, now he's like, uh-oh, what am I going to do here? And that ball ate him up. He didn't charge it, or he didn't play the long hop in the back. So that ball played him, and the Royals will take it.
So it's an error, but Francoeur gets an RBI, and now first and third, still nobody out. And Eric Hosmer, who homered yesterday. Hosmer has a 6-game hitting streak, so he's starting to warm up. He had 4 hits in the Oakland series. He is 0 for 1 tonight, but that was a line out to second base. And a curveball is inside, and now Hosmer in front 2-0.
Well, I really like his adjustment he's made. I mean, he didn't even move on that one there. It didn't fool him one bit. So that front leg, that front first step, he's just picking it up and setting it down. It's really looked good so far. That front leg there, it's keeping him back.
And back with a curve, and it's 2-1.
And what that does is it allows you to get your hands through the ball. You're not out front, you're not charging hard, your hands stay back, clean path to it. Just puts a little bit of weight on it, just to keep that balance.
Boy, he had a swing and fouled it away, 2-2.
Had a pitch, he had one he could handle.
Now, when you talk about a hitter that's out in front, that means that their balance kind of gets out over their front foot. And you were just talking about Billy Butler and how power hitters use a lot of their strength on their hips and their legs. And so that basically takes his lower body out when he's out in front.
It does, and he trusts his hands. His hips will turn.
And a slow roller to KCA, and that is going to be an error. Well, the Twins are falling to pieces in the 4th inning. The Royals have tied the game. The Twins had a 3-error game yesterday, and now 2 in this inning. Still nobody out.
And that'll really frustrate Ron Gardenhire. Look at this. He kicked it once, kicked it twice, tried to find the bare hand and couldn't find the bare hand.
And so Hosmer will get an RBI, his 28th. And now let's see what the Royals do with Escobar. Minnesota thinks that he might bunt. They have Carroll in at third and Morneau in at first.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
And he does square around and gets it down. Good bunt. DeVries throws a strike over to KCA, but that moves up Francoeur to third and Hosmer to second.
All right, that's an excellent job giving yourself up like that. Moving those runners gives you a chance to score them runs and see if Dyson can continue to get big hits. He's been doing that. He's hitting .350 with runners in scoring position. So maybe he's got a chance here to give him the lead. Look at that. Try to keep that barrel above the hands so the ball goes down. Good touch. He deadened it. Hit it off the end of the bat.
And a curveball dips low. 20th pitch of the inning. And only one out for DeVries. Dyson tried to bunt his way on in the third. And he popped out to Justin Morneau at first.
See if Dyson can drive a ball. I watch him in batting practice. He's got some pretty good pop in there. He's got some alley power. Maybe he gets one here.
Another curve, and this one's a strike.
But his 3-hit game 2 games ago, he was serving that ball over to left field, just dropping it right in there in front of the left fielder. That's a really good stroke.
Yeah, 3 almost identical hits.
Right. He served him right out there.
And he goes the other way, broke his bat, and he's down 1 ball and 2 strikes. So this is all bonus time for the Royals. DeVries and the Twins should be out of the inning. If Dozier handles the Francoeur ground ball, if KCA handles the Hosmer ground ball, and Escobar makes an out, this inning is over. But because of the errors, 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
This is where you really want to make it hurt. So don't want to get called out looking. 2 strikes on you. Anything close, expand the zone a little bit.
And a curveball is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got to wait on this guy. He's not overpowering at all. Big hole up the middle.
And he took a curve for a strike. So exactly what you don't want to do, especially with his speed. I mean, if he just puts the ball on the ground, especially with the way the Twins are kicking it around.
That is a very hittable pitch.
And you would think, and of course it's very difficult to hit in the big leagues no matter what you're seeing, but he had seen 2 curveballs prior to that. So he had seen that pitch out of DeVries' hand.
That is a hanging breaking ball saying hit me for 2 steaks.
Outside to Humberto Quintero. He grounded out to second in the 3rd inning. The Royals got 1 run on 1 hit in the first 3 innings against DeVries. And now 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors in this bottom of the 4th. And now it's 2-0 on Quintero. Quintero lately has been coming up with some big hits for the Royals, piling up the doubles. He has 11 doubles.
Just take a lousy single.
2-1.
.255 hitter with runners in scoring position this year for him.
Three balls, 1 strike. Alex Gordon is on deck. And I would think, if I'm DeVries, that I'd rather get a decision from Humberto Quintero than Alex Gordon.
Well, you would think. They got a righty loose and ready.
That's out of play. 3-2. Now that's what you assume, that a right-hand pitcher wants to go after a right-hand batter, especially the number 9 hitter. But DeVries has what they call a reverse split, where he's actually better against lefties than he is against righties, and it's quite a split. Over 300 against righties, where lefties before tonight struggling to hit 120 against him.
Those are the percentages, but with a hot Gordon, I'm going to go after Quintero.
DeVries has 3 strikeouts in the game, 1 in this inning, and in all 3 cases he has gone with his breaking ball. Goes with it again, and Quintero slashes it foul to stay alive. And now it's a 30-pitch inning for Cole DeVries. And you can see the sweat on his forearms. So he's thrown 30, but with the heat today, and we got up into the 90s with some humidity, it probably feels more like 40 pitches. And he got him looking at a fastball. Royals had runners at second and third and 1 out. DeVries gets 2 strikeouts, but the Royals tie the game at 4. Wednesday is Ink Student Night and Local Music Showcase. Just show your valid student ID at the box office. You'll get a $7 ticket, and make sure to get here early for live local music and drink specials in the outfield experience before the game. Go to Royals.com/student night for more information. And the next student night is the day after tomorrow. Final game with Minnesota, and it's the final game of the homestand. So Will Smith goes to the mound in the 5th. We're all even again. A 4-4 tie. Minnesota, however, has scored in 3 of their 4 innings against Will Smith. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. And it'll be Ben Revere, Josh Willingham, and Justin Morneau.
Okay, new game. That's what he tells himself. Go ahead now. Next pitch will be his 69th pitch. He's telling himself, I got a chance to win this game.
Hosmer will go to the bag and gets the speedy Revere, 1 away. Royals tonight with the 5th overall pick in the draft, Kyle Zimmer, a right-hand pitcher out of San Francisco. We ask you, who is the best 5th overall pick since 2000? Mark Teixeira with 46% of the votes, off to a slow start this year, but he's had 8 consecutive seasons with at least 30 home runs and 100 RBIs.
Right, first big leaguer to do that, I think. He's a pretty good choice by the people. Got a bunch of gold gloves.
Willingham, he went around, and it's 1-1. Josh Willingham hit a 2-run home run in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd. His team leading 11th home run, 37th and 38th RBIs. Willingham last year played for the A's and hit 29 home runs, 98 driven in. Curveball is outside. It's 3-1. Back with the curve, a full count. When the Royals were in Minnesota, Josh Willingham was on paternity leave. His wife giving birth to their third child. He came back after missing 3 games, and in the final game of the series went 3 for 5. And now takes a close pitch, and he will walk with 1 out, and that's a second walk given up by Will Smith. Well, we were talking about Wednesdays. Don't forget that on Thursdays, Thursday home games, you can come out and support Jeff Francoeur in the Frenchie Quarter. And the next one is June 14th. $21 gets you a seat in the right field cheering section, a limited edition Frenchie Quarter t-shirt, and Mardi Gras beads. Tickets at Royals.com/Frenchie. Justin Morneau reached on an error in the first inning and then had a bullet up the middle in the third that went right into Will Smith's glove.
He's got some power numbers, but he's only hitting .091 against lefties. Uh-oh.
Francoeur is back, and Morneau hits it into the party porch. And the Minnesota Twins have their second 2-run home run of the game.
Like I mentioned, he's got some pretty good power numbers. And that's his second home run off a lefty. Hanging breaking ball on the inner half. Right in his wheelhouse. I don't even think he really barreled that one like he can either.
So Minnesota back out in front, 6-4. And they have scored in 4 of their 5 innings. On the ground to Moustakas. On target to Hosmer, 2 down. Ryan Doumit is 0 for 3.
Nice play. Two decisions you have to make on a ball like that. Either go get the short hop or wait back for the big one. And that's what Moose did. Decided I'll take it on the big hop. Made the adjustment.
Trevor Plouffe 0 for 1 with a walk. And that's drilled to left field. Plouffe goes into the Royals bullpen, and the Minnesota Twins, who have hit the fewest home runs in the American League, at least coming into the game, they've hit 3 tonight, 2 in this inning. And for the 3rd time tonight, the Twins have a 3-run lead.
Well, Ned can't give him another chance now because came out there, his team got him some runs. Of course, the Minnesota Twins defense helped out a lot, but can't keep the ball in the yard.
So Smith doesn't get through the 5th, and it will be Lewis Coleman in a Chevy call to the bullpen. Bring in Jeff Montgomery and talk about the location of those 3 pitches, Monty.
Well, right, it looked like tonight he did not have the ability to keep those pitches out of the middle part of the plate. We saw really effective against the Cleveland Indians when he got on a roll. He was able to really kind of live on the edge, but tonight he's just too many pitches in the middle part of the plate, and the Twins, even though they have not hit a lot of home runs this year, making him pay dearly tonight.
So it's Lewis Coleman, and he throws a strike to Brian Dozier. Just to add to Monty's point, Twins had 38 home runs before tonight. That's 38 home runs in 53 games. At the very bottom in the American League, but they sure don't look like that tonight.
No, but I'll tell you, that really makes KCA and this young shortstop here feel better about their boots.
Which is baseball code for errors. I mean, they might have nice boots.
Boots.
But we're not talking about
clanks.
Yeah.
Call them what you want, but they're miscues. But when your team comes back, hoping to keep that. But you know, the Royals, they got a pretty good offense. They're going to have to get into this bullpen, looks like, because I don't know if DeVries has enough to keep it going.
Coleman comes in, strikes out Dozier to put an end to the 5th inning, but Minnesota adds 3 with 2 more home runs. T-shirt. The next T-shirt Tuesday is June 12th. Royals and the Brewers. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Homegrown Heroes themed T-shirt presented by Kia. Gates open at 5:30, so you want to get here early. Again, that's Tuesday, June 12th. We don't want to make any promises, but the timing of that is very interesting. Hometown or Homegrown Heroes, because as it stands right now, Zach Greinke could start that Tuesday game when the Milwaukee Brewers are here in Kansas City.
Oh, that might be a special opportunity for the Royals to offense to see if they can get a piece of him.
Alex is lined to right, grounded out to first base. Has a 7-game hitting streak. He also has 35 RBIs in his career against Minnesota, and that's the most for him against any one team. One ball, 2 strikes. Royals had a nice inning in the 4th. Could have been a bigger inning. They scored 3. Minnesota committed 2 errors. And the Royals had runners at second and third with 1 out. And DeVries struck out Dyson and Quintero. Both went down looking.
Not good. on pitches that were hittable. Just a little tentative, couldn't swing it.
2-2. It's interesting, though, the Royals are disappointed they didn't get that run in. On the Twins side, you say DeVries did a good job of pitching himself out of that inning. A broken bat, and KCA runs it down on the right side, and Alex is 0 for 3. Alex Gordon, a first-round pick of the Royals, and today is the day of the draft. The Royals pick 5th overall. Kyle Zimmer out of San Francisco. So in our AT&T trivia question, which 2 first-round picks have played in the most career games for the Royals? That's first-round picks of the Royals and most games played for the Royals.
How about Buddy Biancalana?
Wow. Johnny Giavotella, 1 for 3. And that's the second time he's lost a hit tonight on a good play on defense.
You like my guess?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at that. Nothing makes you more angry than getting robbed not once but twice. But you can't do anything about it. You just go back and try to hit the ball hard again.
How about this guy?
Billy Butler's a good call.
Billy 1 out of 2. Singled and scored in the Royals' 3-run 4th inning.
14th pick in the first round in 2004.
Center field deep.
Wow.
Span is back. And at the wall, he makes the catch.
I don't know how he saw that. With the twilight up there, it's a miracle he didn't lose that.
That's an 8-pitch inning. Night, you can experience the new NightLifeKC.com lounge located on the Budweiser patio. Tickets are just $30. That gets you in the door. Also 2 beverage vouchers, a private DJ, plush seating, and much more. Go to Royals.com/NightLifeKC. Lewis Coleman replaced Will Smith with 2 outs in the 5th inning and struck out Brian Dozier. And now he gets Alexi KCA, Jamie Carroll, and Denard Span.
So KCA will hit from the left side of the plate. .214 average batting left-handed. .303 batting right.
Two and one. 2 balls, 2 strikes on KCA. Singled and scored on Jamie Carroll's triple in the 4th inning. Thought about it, and no swing. Corey Blazer is the third base umpire, and it's 3-2. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Last year, the Minnesota Twins signed a player out of Japan, Tsuyoshi Nishioka, who did not have a good year for the Twins, and he has been in the minor leagues all year this year, and he is signed through next season. KCA and Nishioka were supposed to play at the middle for the Twins last year. One was going to start at short, the other was going to start at second. Little half swing, and Dyson will run the ball down in left center, and there is 1 out. Well, as we answer our trivia question, Rex, I can't help but think about a center fielder in Royals history who might be one of the answers. 2 Royals first-round picks who have ended up playing in the most games for the Royals. Willie Wilson, and behind him, Billy Butler.
All right, Willie Wilson by a ton.
You thought Buddy Biancalana.
Well, I knew he was the #1 pick, and I knew he spent his entire career with the Royals. I think. Maybe I'm all wrong, but he was on their World Championship team. He was drafted in 1978.
Two balls and 1 strike to Jamie Carroll as the number 9 hitter who is batting .225 and was 0 for his last 11. Jamie Carroll has an RBI single and an RBI triple. Caught the Royals playing in against him in the 4th inning and tripled to left center field. 2 balls, 2 strikes against Lewis Coleman.
Willie Wilson, watching him run the bases, my jaw dropped the first time I saw him in the opposing dugout, going first to home on a double. A guy hit a gapper, and man, could he fly.
And Willie's a big man. I mean, he's not built like Gerard Dyson. I mean,
right.
If you didn't know any better, you might think he was a number 3 or a number 4 hitter.
Oh man, I couldn't believe it.
Just outside, 3-2 on Carroll. And now he will walk with 1 out. Ryan Lefebvre with Rex Hudler, and on this draft day, we of course need to point out that this man right here was on his way to the University of Notre Dame until the New York Yankees called and announced that you were drafted in the 1st round.
34 years ago, it was a great day. But you know what, though? Without the fanfare, I came home from school, asked my mom, "Hey, Mom, anybody call today?" She says, "Yeah, the darn Yankees drafted you. They called." And I said, "Really? Wow, Mom, what did you tell them?" She says, "I told them they wasted their pick. My son's going to Notre Dame." I said, "You didn't tell them that, did you?" She said, "Yep." So a week goes by. They don't call until finally a guy named Al Rosen shows up at my door, and Jack Butterfield, and my mom negotiated my first contract and got me a big bonus from the Yankees.
34 years ago. Chevy call to the bullpen. Coleman out, Collins in. And in the middle game, they lost 9-3, and now against the Minnesota Twins in game 1, down 7-4. Top of the 6th inning, Ned Yost wants to keep it at 7-4. He brings on Tim Collins to face Denard Span, and after him, a left-hand batter in Ben Revere.
Speaking of about guys that haven't been drafted, this guy, he was undrafted. Tim Collins. What a breaking ball he's got. That curveball that he throws got him drafted. Got him noticed.
And there is the curve, and ball 1 to Span, who is 0 for 3 and 0 for his last 9. Jamie Carroll on base 3 times tonight, walked against Lewis Coleman, and then the pitching change.
Collins was set to become a carpenter if he hadn't got recognized by the Blue Jays scout.
As the story goes, the Toronto Blue Jays were scouting another pitcher, and they stumbled across Tim Collins. That happens so many times. You hear about a pitcher that was discovered by a scout when the scout went to go see somebody else. Now 3 balls, no strikes on Span. Signed by the Blue Jays, traded to the Atlanta Braves, and about 3 weeks later, the same year, traded to the Royals. There's a strike, 3-1.
Mid-90s fastball. You wonder where that comes from. I'm sure he's heard all the little guy jokes you hear. You know, he's not very tall, but my golly, he pitches like he's Jonathan Broxton.
He's got a big arm.
Big arm. And you know what? He's very strong. He'll be able to generate. He's got good core strength in his abs and his lower back and his legs.
3-2.
And a very confident guy. When you're growing up and you're a freshman in high school and you're 4'9", you're hearing all of them, all those jokes. So, you know, I'm sure that made him tough.
Carroll takes off, and Span fouls it away. Collins is from Massachusetts, and J.P. Ricciardi, who was the general manager of the Blue Jays at that time, is also from Massachusetts. And while the scout that ended up signing Collins was actually looking at another player, J.P. Ricciardi's father, who lived in the same area as Tim Collins, was telling his son, the general manager, hey, you got to take a look at this local kid. Yeah, he's 5'6", but he's a good pitcher. Well, that's not what you're looking for. And now back-to-back walks. Collins against Carroll, and now, or a Coleman against Carroll, and now Collins against Span. And 2 on for Ben Revere.
Well, probably wouldn't be a surprise if you knew that one of his heroes and the guy he admired most is Billy Wagner. Flamethrower for the Houston Astros and Braves, Phillies, because he was under 6 feet and left-handed and threw 100. He threw 100 for a lot of years and still could be pitching, but he said Billy Wagner said his wife said, you know what, it's time for you to come home. You've been pitching for 20-something years. And the Braves, they kind of wanted to talk him out of it. They were saying, hey, you still can throw a high 90s. You sure you want to reconsider? And he piled up some saves in his day.
He had 37 saves in his final year in the big leagues with a 1.43 ERA.
and he walked away. There's a guy, if he decided to come back, there would be a lineup of teams that would say, hey, will you come sign with us?
Did you ever face Billy Wagner?
I did.
That means you and I have faced the same pitcher.
Really?
How about that?
So you faced him?
Well,
how did you,
in a college summer league.
How did you deal with him?
Well,
you throw hard then?
I heard the ball cross home plate. Not quite sure I saw it. Revere gets it through the right side, and coming around third is Carroll. Francoeur's throw is up the line, and now Revere caught in between first and second. Dyson comes in from center field to tag him out. So a heads-up play by Dyson as the Royals were running out of infielders. So Revere is out. Minnesota adds a run. It is 8-4.
Hey, I tell you, that's something that you got to be heads up to do. Dyson, he just creeped in, and next thing you know, he's making the put out. Now, Frenchie could have had a shot, but the throw was way up the line. So now, with Escobar vacating second, there's nobody there. Dyson fills in. Well, that's perfect.
And now the Royals will intentionally walk Josh Willingham, and Collins almost threw it past Quintero.
Okay, this was a good block by Quintero, not expecting it to be down there on an intentional walk.
So that scoring play goes 9-2, 6-3, 8 to get Revere.
You don't hear that one that often.
So Willingham, who had a 2-run home run in the first inning, is on. And now first and third. And the Royals would rather have the lefty Collins and Morneau. But before we get there, pitching coach Dave Island's going to go out and have a chat with Collins and Humberto Quintero. While they chat, we want to tell you about the Royals watch party that'll be at the Power and Light District. That's coming up on June 16th. The Royals will be taking on the Cardinals in St. Louis. That's presented by Miller Lite. The activities will start at noon with a special Saturday afternoon game of 1:10. There will be free prizes, alumni autographs, interactive games. So come downtown to the Power and Light District to cheer on the boys in blue with the Royals watch party. After this series with Minnesota, the Royals will be in a stretch of interleague series. They'll go to Pittsburgh, they'll come home and play Milwaukee, and then back on the road to play St. Louis and Houston. Curveball is outside, ball one to Morneau. Morneau hit his 10th home run. That was to right field in the 5th inning. Justin Morneau hit his first major league home run here at Kauffman Stadium. 1-1.
Okay, same breaking ball, except Will Smith's was just on the inside part of the plate. Collins threw him one middle away there. Tried to pull it.
Challenge him with a fastball, and it's 1-2. Morneau hit his first home run here in 03 against Albie Lopez. And he hit it into the second tier of the waterfalls in right field. 3 years later, Justin Morneau was the American League's most valuable player. And Collins just missed if he did. And it's 2-2. Again with a fastball.
They just told me in the truck I went 2 for 3 off of Wagner.
All right.
I remember hitting one right by his ear 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I was 38 years old, and I went back to the Phillies dugout, and Scott Rowland, who was a rookie, he said, "Hud, how did you do that?" Skills, I told him.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
But, you know, facing a guy that throws 100 is different than a guy that throws 95. 95 is plenty firm to get you out. But you don't have any time at all. You just put a short swing on a ball. That's all you do, and you barely see it. It comes on you, I mean, like in a split second.
Struck him out. Set him up with a fastball, put him away with the curve. Minnesota scores again. They lead 8-4. Moustakis will be coming up, followed by Jeff Francoeur and Eric Hosmer. So, Susan Neeson. That's a pretty good combination for our Sonic Slam inning. And if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Susan wins $700. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Susan wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And Moustakis has already homered against Cole DeVries. Homered in the second inning, and then doubled in a run in the fourth. Now up the right field line, and Moustakis has a 3-hit game, and all of his hits are for extra bases.
13th and 14th doubles tonight. There's a ball over the plate now. He homered on a pitch like that earlier, but he's got the top hand on that one. He's able to pull it down that line. Short swing. Look at the head. Doesn't even move the head. He's locked. He's locked in.
And now Francoeur, who is 0 for 2. If you like to score along with us, when Francoeur reached on an error in the fourth inning, it was first ruled an error and an RBI because there was a runner at third. And they have since changed the scoring on that. And the official score, figuring that if the play was made, it wasn't going to be a ground ball. It was going to be a catch in the air, which means the runner from third would not have advanced. It was an error by the shortstop Dozier. So no RBI for Francoeur in the fourth. Royals had 1 run, 1 hit in the first 3 innings against DeVries, and then in the fourth, 3 runs, 3 hits, and then beginning the third time through the order in the fifth. The Royals went 3 up, 3 down, but 2 of the outs were hard hit. And a curveball is lined to center field, and that's a base hit. Moustakas will hold at third. The Royals have runners at the corners and nobody out.
Okay, Moose second base wasn't exactly sure if anybody was going to catch that, so he kind of just made sure didn't get doubled up. That's why he didn't score. He wasn't exactly sure where KCA was playing. So Gardenhire, I think, has seen enough. The kid's in line for a win. If they can hold it for him.
Broadcast auction benefiting Royals Charities returns on June 13th. We have great packages up for auction, including a suite with George Brett. That includes 20 game tickets and the chance to watch the game with George for a few innings. For more information about the auction, go to Royals.com. Alex Burnett to face Eric Hosmer, who goes after the first pitch, drives it to left field, and Plouffe is there to make the catch deep enough for Moustakas to score, and that will make it 8-5. Hosmer has 2 RBIs tonight, 29 on the year.
Boy, they're playing him deep too. Good swing. Okay, Burnett's got a good fastball. He'll reach 93, 94 mile power slider, curveball, changeup versus lefties.
Twins bullpen has really been on a roll lately, so that has a lot to do with Minnesota winning 5 of its last 6 games. No walks allowed tonight by DeVries or Alex Burnett, and that's nothing new for Minnesota. They have the fewest walks allowed in the league. No balls, 2 strikes on Escobar. He has a sac bunt tonight and a fly out to right field. One ball, 2 strikes. In on the hands
And Escobar fouling it that way. He's really made a conscious effort this year to try and go the opposite field more often. Got a little pull happy time at times last year. He did improve his batting average quite a bit from the year before when he hit just .235 for the Brewers, but 14 hits to right field this year and 21 hits to center field. Kevin Seitzer was an outstanding hitter in his big league career, hitting the ball to center field, right center, and right field.
Yep. .295 career hitter. Line drive hitter. Sprayed it all over.
Got him with a slider, 2 down. Twins don't strike out many. They have the fewest strikeouts in the league, but they throw strikes. And now Burnett with a runner at first, and 2 down will face Gerard Dyson. Dyson tried to bunt his way on in the third, but he popped it in the air to Morneau at first and then struck out looking in the fourth. The Royals had scored 3 runs against DeVries. They had runners at second and third with 1 out, and DeVries struck out Dyson and Quintero, and both of those strikeouts called third strikes.
You know, Gerard, he was a 50th round pick out of Southwest Mississippi Community College. 50th round. And he's made it to the big leagues.
On the corner, 2-1.
So they only can pick 40 picks this year, 40.
Right.
And then after that, they're all free agent signed.
And we had Lonnie Goldberg in here earlier, and so you're dropping 10 rounds. So that's 300 kids that were drafted last year that won't be drafted this year. So we'll see a lot more undrafted free agents. The Royals began the inning with 2 on, nobody out. They get a run, and they trail by 3 at the end of 6. Deals on new Fords are at thoroughbredford.com. And by AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. 8-5 Minnesota to the 7th inning. Minnesota Twins got 7 runs against Will Smith, and they knocked him out in the 5th. Mike Moustakas has had a big night for the Royals. A couple of doubles, a home run. He's driven in 2. And for Minnesota, Josh Willingham has scored twice. He has a 2-run home run. Justin Morneau and Trevor Plouffe have also homered. And now the Royals will go to the bullpen again, and Aaron Crow will start the 7th inning, and ball 1 to Ryan Domit.
Did you see former Major League pitcher Rick Helling here today?
I did.
Yeah, he's in with the Players Association now, and the both teams elected their player representatives. And Aaron Crow and Mike Moustakas will represent the Royals for the Players Association. They're trying to get guys that are going to be around for a while, you know, with the team. And you got to have reps on each team. Two. One's the main guy and the other guy's the assistant. Moose is the assistant. Recently, it's been okay because there's not a whole lot of work to be done. They've had good collective bargainings. They've had pretty much harmony and everything. But when you're in a year where there's stuff going on like in the past, it can be a lot of work and a lot of headache.
Doman hits it down around the end of the bat. Francoeur will make the play. Ryan Doman is 0 for 4. I remember in 2002 when baseball came very close to striking and the Royals were in Seattle. We had flown to Seattle and we didn't know if we were going to play the next day, and they went at it all night and into the next morning, and Blake Stein was the Royals representative at the time, a right-hand pitcher. And to your point, the 2 weeks, longer than that, but especially the 2 weeks leading up to the agreement between the players and Major League Baseball, Blake Stein, it's tough for him to focus on his day job as a pitcher because he was constantly in conference calls and in meetings and explaining to the players what was going on and getting their feedback. And it was I remember the look on his face when the deal was done. A tremendous load had been lifted off of his shoulders.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer is going to help assist Moose. So there's Moose and Haas are going to be the assistants. But it is, I mean, 94. That's when we struck. We went out. We thought we were going to get a deal. Missed the World Series. Look at that nice breaking ball.
You know, it's tough to know if it's a called third strike with Tom Hallion behind the plate. He's so subtle back there. Remember, you can follow the Royals with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @Bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. Center field, shallow. Dyson glides in. He makes the play. Aaron Crow, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th inning with a strikeout. And if you're not sure if it was a strikeout or not, yeah,
got to go.
5 to the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Burnett, who got the final 2 outs of the 6th, stays in. Now Cole DeVries goes 5 innings and faces a couple of batters in the 6th. Burnett actually got all 3 outs of the 6th inning. All 5 runs charged to DeVries, and one of the runs was unearned. Quintero, when he struck out in the 4th, that was the second of 2 big outs for DeVries. The Royals had scored 3 runs, and then they had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. But Dyson and Quintero struck out, leaving Francoeur at 3rd and Hosmer at 2nd. KCA comes up for the ground ball. Quintero is 0 for 3. Take a look at tonight's AT&T Uverse Reverse Replay, and the Royals selecting Kyle Zimmer from San Francisco with their first-round pick.
Isn't that special to see mom and dad and the friends and family there? I mean, that's special for this kid. And, you know, it could end up being a great choice because look at it. He's a big kid. He's converted infielder, so he's doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his arm, and he's a strike thrower.
Yeah, what was the number again? 107 strikeouts, 17 walks.
When I saw that, I thought that was a misprint at first. I'm like, what?
104 strikeouts.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you, he's got some pitches for you. Hope it works out. Might see him in a few years. The picks out of college, they get him up here quickly.
During dinner tonight, when the Royals made that draft pick, had a chance to visit with a top executive, let's say from another club.
Okay.
And he was excited for the Royals, in that, meaning that if his club had a chance to select that particular pitcher, they would have taken him.
Ooh, that's good.
And this is an off-the-record conversation where this particular person wasn't saying what he needed to say, saying what he wanted to say, and say that's a good pick. We, meaning his team, we really like Zimmer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alex Gordon is 0 for 3. One of his outs was a line out to right. He has a 7-game hitting streak. Royals have been playing catch up all night. They were down 3-0. They were down 4-1 when they got 3 in the bottom of the 4th, but now Minnesota has 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. And the Royals got a run back in the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-2. Royals, and this is the most first-round picks on a 25-man roster in the big leagues, and the Royals have 7 of them.
Wow. Pretty good percentage of Royals #1 picks getting here and contributing.
5 of those 7 have appeared in the game tonight. Alex Gordon in 2005 was the 2nd overall pick for the Royals, behind only Justin Upton, who's now an outfielder with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you can add Jeff Francoeur to that list, who was a former first-round pick. That was with the Atlanta Braves. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. An 8-pitch plate appearance for Alex Gordon. Royals coming off a winning homestand against the Oakland A's. And that was a series where they won Game 1. The Royals have had trouble this year taking the first game of a series. Just 5-13 in game one, but 6 times they have lost game one and come back and won the next 2. On the ground to Morneau. He'll go to the bag himself. 2 down in the 7th. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg at Kauffman Stadium on a warm night, along with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew.
It's a lot of fun working with them. They're professionals and really good at what they do.
Oh, and 1 on Johnny Giavotella. Johnny 1 for 3. He could easily be 3 for 3. He lost a hit in the first inning on a diving, sliding play by Span in center field. Singled in the 4th and then hit a line drive to third in the 5th. That almost knocked Jamie Carroll, the Minnesota third baseman, into left field. Just missed. 2-1.
Got an idea where George Brett was drafted in 1971? What round by the Royals? 2nd round, 29th overall.
There's a 2nd round pick at the plate right now. Royals have had some pretty good 2nd round picks. Johnny Damon was a 2nd round pick. Carlos Beltran was a 2nd round pick.
But do you think that Gio can be a 13-time All-Star? You never know. He's awfully young.
Well, if he's not, it won't be because of a lack of effort.
Hard-working guy. Hustles hard. Working hard on his defense. He's not an easy out.
Over the mound, Dozier from behind second base throws out Giavotella. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 7. It's still 8-5 Minnesota.
In the top of the 8th, and Panera takes us around the league. Seattle and LA just underway at 1 apiece. Angels finally starting to play some good baseball, and Oakland is on top of Texas thanks to Brandon Inge, and that's it. Ryan, back to you. It must be a Monday.
Well, thanks, Joel.
Yeah, that's all your scores.
AT KCA flies out to Gerard Dyson. He is 1 for 4. There were some National League games as well. And if you're wondering about those scores, we can tell you that the Cardinals beat the Mets, and the Mets were going for a 4-game sweep.
Oof.
Cardinals won 5-4. San Francisco beat Chicago 3-2. Former Royal Jeremy Offeld got a save. Dodgers beat the Phillies 4-3. Dodgers got one in the 9th. And Colorado leads at Arizona 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Take that, Joel.
It's got a light night for Joel.
Escobar can't quite catch up to the Jamie Carroll ground ball, so Jamie Carroll is on base for the 4th time.
Have a night. It's a hard ball player, scrappy. Blue collar player. He brings his lunch pail when he comes to the ballpark.
Carroll singled in a run in the 2nd inning, tripled in a run in the 4th. Walked and scored in the 6th, and now a single here in the 8th. Ball 1 to Denard Span, who is 0 for 3 with a 6th inning walk. In their first 7 at-bats tonight, the Twins scored in 5 innings. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. And the Royals are down to their last 6 outs on offense. Carroll runs. Quintero throws from his knees, and Carroll is underneath the tag with his 5th stolen base.
Excellent jump. Quintero says, I'm not even going to stand up. I'm just going to try to get him from there. And sometimes Quintero, he throws some runners out from his knees. Look at that. 10-year big leaguer right there. Sliding into second base head first. Got in there before the tag.
Into left field, Alex Gordon is there to retire Denard Span. 2 down in the 8th inning. So Span is hitless. And now 0 for his last 10. So many new names for the Minnesota Twins. And they had 14 players on their opening day roster this year that were not with the team last year. 14 out of 25. Coming off a 99 loss season. And they had to win the final 2 games of the season. Both of those were against the Royals in Minnesota to avoid 100 losses.
Weren't expecting that when they built their new ballpark there.
And that first season in Target Field, 2010, they had the best home record in baseball. And that came up because they had such an advantage at the Metrodome that I'll admit I was in the camp that wondered, will they still have a home field advantage in a brand new ballpark that's outdoor, no artificial turf, not as many balls being lost in the ceiling.
And long way to hit a homer there. I mean, a pitcher's ballpark. And the Metrodome was a launching pad.
And then last year, all the injuries. The Minnesota Twins used the disabled list 27 times last year. That was the most in the major leagues. The Royals only used it 9 times. That was the fewest in the league. Revere off of Escobar's glove and out into left center field. And Jamie Carroll, he would have been out if Escobar backhands it. Well, it would have been the final out of the inning, so he was going on contact, but he hesitated for a moment because he was about to run right into the line drive, and that may have screened Escobar just enough where he didn't see it all the way into the glove.
Yeah, he squared this one up, and like I said, Escobar got a little bit screened, but he usually makes everything hit at him every play. He's a guy that we don't see miscue very often. I think they're going to score that a hit.
They are. So another 4-run lead for Minnesota, and their scoring began tonight when Josh Willingham hit a 2-run home run in the first inning against Will Smith. Willingham has also walked twice. He has scored twice, and he's hit in 8 games in a row. He has 31 walks. Josh Willingham, for an on-base percentage that is over 400. Revere takes off, and Quintero thought about throwing from his knees, but Revere is into second base with the 3rd Minnesota stolen base of the night.
Well, he's going to run all day, Rivera. He's very energetic, a lot of action. Some guys that run.
That may have come up and hit the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion. So Quintero will think of something to say to Aaron Crow as he goes out and has a word with him to give Tom Hallion a little extra time to pull it together.
Yep, they take care of each other. Mentioned Josh Willingham and 30 walks. That's coming into this game was 8th in the league. So you're a good power hitter and you got a pretty selective up there. That's good. He's just up there swinging. Got a little open, slightly open stance. If you're going to come inside, you better get way in there.
And a base hit to left center. And for the first time tonight, the Minnesota Twins have a 5-run lead, and Josh Willingham is driven in 3. So Ned Yost will go to the bullpen again, and with a left-hand hitter coming up, Justin Morneau. Ned will point to former Minnesota Twin Jose Mijares. He leaves behind Willingham at first base. And now former Twin Jose Mijares will come on and appear for the 28th time. Mijares signing with the Minnesota Twins 10 years ago. Got to the big leagues in 2008. 2008, 2009, 2010, 58 games last year for the Twins. He's done a nice job for the Royals. No balls and 2 strikes on Morneau, who's 1 for 4, and that one hit was a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Minnesota has hit the fewest home runs in the American League, or at least they did coming into the game, but they have 3 tonight. Willingham has a 2-run shot, Morneau a 2-run shot, and Plouffe has hit a solo home run. And Morneau strikes out. Mijares finishes off the inning. To the bottom of the 8th, the Royals are down by 5. Butler, Mike Moustakas, and Jeff Francoeur are coming up. As you know, the Major League All-Star Game will be here at Kauffman Stadium. That's coming up on July 10th, and you'll see it here on Fox. Of course, it's a All-Star Weekend, which will begin the weekend prior to the All-Star Game. It'll be Jared Burton taking over in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Fastball, hard slider, a little bit of a changeup.
One and one on Billy. Singleton scored in the Royals' 3-run 4th inning, flied out to deep center field in the 5th. And 1-2. It comes up from time to time. What would Billy Butler's home run numbers be like if he played in a different ballpark? And when he flied out to deep center field in the 5th inning, that was another example of Billy, who uses the big part of the ballpark. Hits the ball from left center to right center quite often. Burton strikes him out here for the first out. But it seems like at least a half a dozen times every season, Billy hits one to the track, a couple of strides from the wall, in either deep left center field, straightaway center, or deep right center field. And he did that in the 5th inning tonight against Cole DeVries.
Well, he's got a chance to have a career high in homers. He's already got 11. But the number 4 batter moves. He's having a night.
2 doubles, a home run, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs.
Get that 4th hit. That batting average over 290.
And Tom Hallion doesn't even need the appeal. He said he went too far. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. If Moustakas can reach with a base hit in this inning, it would be the 2nd time in his career he's had a 4-hit game. And he put him away with a fastball. First time Moustakas has been retired in an otherwise productive night.
It certainly was, starting with his first AB of the night. He went deep, and then he hit 2 doubles. Like the way he's hitting it where it's pitched. The second double was right here. Pulls it. First one went to the opposite field.
And now a strike on Jeff Francoeur.
This guy, Jared Burton, he's nasty. He's got some pitches. He's got some late movement. Throws, he's firm. Looks like he's got a hard slider and a little 2-seamer. There's a slider there, and he's using a changeup.
He's coming back from shoulder surgery. Started the season on the disabled list last year with a right shoulder injury and had surgery. It was the 2nd time in his career he's had surgery on his right shoulder. He is from Western Carolina University, drafted by the A's out of that school, which also produced Greg Holland. And Greg Holland, drafted by the Royals in 2007, and when he got to the big leagues, he became the first Dayton Moore draft pick to get to the big leagues. So Jared Burton, the shoulder appears to be healed. He strikes out the side in the 8th inning.
Expos talking about a rough night for Will Smith, his first home start in the big leagues. A productive night at the plate for Mike Moustakas, and we'll get you ready for Game 2 of this series. Pair of lefties, Francisco Liriano, Bruce Chen will do battle, and we will be talking about the Royals' first-round pick. That means, Ryan, we might talk about first-round pick announcement from University of Wisconsin grad Commissioner Bud Selig. Probably won't talk about Cole DeVries because, you know, he went to that school.
Yeah, how did Wisconsin's baseball team do this year?
Didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
How about that? Did not lose. They haven't lost a game in 20 years.
No, they really haven't. Since they don't have a team, here's Mitch Meyer taking over in right field for Jeff Francoeur. Jose Mojarras, the former Twin, will get Ryan Domit, Trevor Plouffe, and Brian Dozier. You know, Mojarras really took the long road to get to the big leagues, and he was one of those players that the Twins brought along very slowly. Mentioned that they signed him in 2002. He spent 2 summers at their Venezuelan academy, so he didn't get to the United States until his 3rd year after signing with the Twins. He was with the Gulf Coast Twins. He was in Beloit. He was in Fort Myers for 2 years, New Britain, Rochester. He was injured at the end of the 2007 season and had to start all over again. Gulf Coast, Fort Myers, New Britain, and got to the big leagues in 2008. Meyer tested right away and handles the fly ball from Ryan Domit.
Ball will find you. Does every time when you come in for defense. But you know, Mojarras, you mentioned the injury he had, and I saw a scar on the back of his elbow. Now, his sleeve's covering his elbow, but it's on the very back of his elbow. And I looked at it, he was stretching the other day in Cleveland. I said, wow, that's not a Tommy John scar. Tommy John scars are on the inside of the elbow. What's that? He said that I got into a car accident, and he had a compound break in his elbow. He went through a windshield with his left elbow. Everybody else was okay, but he nearly lost his career. And the doctor told him that he wouldn't pitch for at least another year, and he said he was pitching 3 months later. So they fixed it. They put a screw in it. They still have a screw in it. You can see the scar. It's showing a little bit there. And it was amazing. I said, how did you heal so quickly? He pointed to the sky, and then he said, I worked hard, and it scared me when they said I wasn't going to pitch for another year. I wasn't sure. So he worked hard to get it back, and he said he threw harder when he came back. He said the screw in his elbow fixed everything, tightened everything up, and he gained some velocity.
And that same year, as he was recovering from the broken elbow, that's the year he got to the big leagues for the first time. And he strikes out Trevor Plouffe. So Mojarras has faced 3, retired 3, and he has struck out 2.
He's got an excellent breaking ball. Tight spin. Fools a lot of hitters, right and left-handers.
He is an easy guy to pull for if you know his story. He is from one of the poorest slums in Caracas, Venezuela. His mother died when he was 5, and his father died when he was 10. So 10 years old, and he's lost both of his parents, raised by his grandmother. And as I said, growing up in such a dangerous part of Venezuela, his brother was murdered at a nightclub in Venezuela in 2007. So the broken elbow was the least of his worries. And is there anybody that smiles more every day than Jose Mojarras?
He's a happy guy off the field. Emotional, he's got passion. I like him. Good guys. But Ned likes him because he can get hitters out, especially lefties. He's in there kind of mopping up now, but that's some kind of mop-up job. Punched out those 2 righties
And you know that tastes good against his former team. 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third. Inning. This is game 1 of 3 with the Minnesota Twins. And the Royals have Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, and Gerard Dyson to face Jeff Gray. And we've been talking about the draft all night. The Royals taking Kyle Zimmer, a pitcher out of San Francisco, with their first-round pick. So we're talking about high draft picks, low draft picks, and Jeff Gray was one of those long shots to get to the big leagues. He was a 32nd round draft pick of the Oakland A's out of then Southwest Missouri State, and now going by Missouri State University in Springfield.
Well, he'll have some buddies at this game.
He's from the St. Louis area, and he played 1 year of high school with Ryan Howard, who went on to Southwest Missouri State. And you hear about coaches recruiting players to college. Ryan Howard recruited Jeff Gray to Southwest Missouri State.
Interesting. He's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Good tight slider.
Hosmer has driven in 2. He has 29 RBIs on the year. And that's lined to right center field. Eric Hosmer has a 7-game hitting streak. And he hammers his 9th double the year. And that's a winner in the hot watch.
No wonder you had a big smile on your face. Hey, why not? Look at him. No stride. Use your hands. Ball out over the plate. Just throw him at the ball. That's what he did.
You know, and guys like Hosmer every now and then have to be reminded of how strong they are and what good bat speed they have, that they don't really have to have a high leg kick, or they don't have to swing and try and hit the ball up onto I-70. He just has such a good natural swing.
You know, with that super Exmo slow motion camera, it's amazing to see a good stroke on a ball, and the hitter's head does not move at all. Watch his head. Okay, it's not moving forward, it's not moving sideways. He's keeping his eyes directly on that ball. Young hitters out there, when you keep your head still, you're going to see the ball a lot better.
Escobar grounds back to Gray. That's the first out of the inning. If we could go back to that Exmo replay, you were impressed by the swing. Look at the guy coming down the stairs with his beer. Okay. Watch his reaction when this ball is hit. Whoa!
That's good. That X-Mode camera catches everything. Yeah, look, when you're down there.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
That guy knows a good swing when he sees it.
He's saying, kids, check a look. That's a big leaguer.
Dyson lines it to center. Hosmer will move up to third. Okay, let me ask you this, Rex. There are games where you're out of it in the ninth inning, and the Royals are still a ways away from threatening to tie this game. But even if the Royals fall short tonight, you've got a few guys finishing on a good note, hitting some balls hard. Does that carry over into tomorrow for game 2?
Without a doubt. You never want to waste at bats, and they don't. These guys are coming up here and acting like the game's on the line. You like to see that. Gerard Dyson, he checked in. He gave himself a clap when he went back to first base. Pena's going to get a pinch hit opportunity for Quintero here.
Quintero was 0 for 3 tonight, and Brian Pena going after the first pitch and missed a fastball that was just riding away from him. 0-1.
Okay, but he's in the game. You pinch hit, you come in, you swing. You've already gauged your swing on his pitch. It's what you do when you pinch hit. You don't get a lot of chances in the American League, but you do in the National League. And they take a pitcher out, you got a hit in his spot.
That's out of play, and it's 0-2. I ask you that question because I've seen it happen before in a blowout type game, and a couple guys get hits in the ninth inning. Doesn't seem like to mean much, but then in the very next game, those guys that swung the bat well in the ninth end up making a difference the next day.
That's right. Hosmer is going to feel that.
Dyson's going to run.
And how good that felt off of his bat. And he's going to go home and maybe tell his buddies or whoever, hey, man, you know what? That felt so good. I barely even felt it. I hit that ball right on the screws. And he remembers that, and he comes in, next day takes his BP, but then when he gets in there for the game, he remembers.
1-2 on Pena.
So Pena here, this is his first pinch hit opportunity of the year. He's swinging. He's pinch hitting. He's not pinch walking or pinch looking. He's just missing a few pitches.
And now Pena into center field. And Span gets behind it. Both runners will try and move up. They will. So Pena drives in a run to make it 10-6. And that snaps a string for the Minnesota Twins bullpen. They had gone 18 consecutive scoreless innings until the sac fly from Pena here in the ninth.
That's an outstanding job of pinch hitting. He was hacking the whole way. He was aggressive. He just looked at third base. He said, that's enough to get him home. Got to tag up. Span tried to get Dyson at third. And they're not quitting.
Royals still need 2 more runners for a chance. So Hosmer extends his hitting streak in his ninth inning at bat. Alex Gordon will try and do the same thing. Alex is 0 for 4. He has grounded out 3 times, all 3 ground balls to the right side. And in the third inning, he lined out to right. Alex has hit in 7 in a row. One and one. And that gets past Domit. Dyson down from third, and now it's 10-7. That It is a pass ball, charge to Ryan Domit.
Nearly hit Gordon and just missed him. I talked to Alex before the game and congratulated him on a play I told him I don't remember seeing. That double play, it turned the momentum around, and they went back and got a run, which was a big run. Off balance, threw it on top like a dart, like a quarterback would be running a little veer offense, pulling up for a pass on the run, and he threw a, I want to say that was a 200-foot, 175-foot throw to home right on the money and doubled up the runner, Rosales, by 5 feet. He said, you know, it was lucky. I said, you know, you don't wear a gold glove and be lucky.
And you could really see the roots of him playing third base on that play with that off-balance throw. I don't think a guy who's played the outfield his whole life knows how to make a play like that.
You know, and I talked to some big scouts that are here watching these teams play. I mean, big scouts. And they talked to me about Gordon, saying, have you seen an athlete like him lately? I said, well, you know what? You might have to look over there at first base. Osman's pretty good, too.
What do the little scouts think about Alex?
They like him as well, but some have more clout than others.
Alex still working hard with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
Here's the play we're talking about. Okay, on the dead run, Sun was out. Okay, gets the ball out of his glove, throws on the run off of his right foot like he did when he played third, and put the ball in the perfect place for Pena to get braced for the hit.
And now he walks with 2 outs. And if I could add one part of that play, Rex, looking at that angle, Alex's angle to the plate, Rosales was right in the baseline. He had to loft it over. He had to put enough loft on the throw to get it over Rosales without hitting him in the back so that Pena could apply the tag.
Yeah, as Vin Mazzaro called it, that was sick.
Matt Capps has to come in and close out the 9th. The 9th. How do you think he felt about that?
Well, the body language tells me that that reliever might be in trouble. He wasn't very happy. That is not good body language there by the skipper, storming out of the dugout.
So he has to bring in his closer, and this is a non-save situation. Let me take that back. It is now a save situation with the tying run on deck. So Matt Capps has to come on and close it out. It was a 5-run lead for the Twins going into this inning. So even if Capps gets the job done, this could be a game that we look back on tomorrow or maybe Wednesday night when perhaps Matt Capps isn't available because Ron Gardenhire had to use him tonight. Alex Gordon takes off and will advance on defensive indifference, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Giavotella.
Okay, you're right about that. So the catcher Doman went out there and told Capps what sign they're going to use now with a runner at second base. Capps has a good hard fastball, a little bit of deceptive delivery, occasional change-ups, good slider.
And a slow roller to third. Carroll charges close but out to end the game. So Capps throws 3 pitches and picks up the save. Minnesota takes game 1 of the series. Capps has 13 saves. And the Minnesota Twins, who are last in the league in home runs, hit 3. And they come up with 10 runs on 12 hits. So much run support that their starting pitcher, who gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, ends up being the winner.